Hey everybody. Today I wanted to go back and talk about the book by Ian Morgan Crone, and forgive me, I don't remember the co-author's name, but the Enneagram book, The Road Back to You. And I want to talk to you, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I learned about type 3s and type 8s, because I'm a 3 and Chris is an 8. And I said this in a prior video, but I read this book several years ago and I really enjoyed it, but going back and rereading it with some new information, being that we're married and living together, and the way we interact and, are really getting to know each other. It's been very interesting. So I'll tell you first about the type 3. That is me. Type 3s are known as performers. Let me back up a minute. So the Enneagram is this ancient, for lack of a better term, personality typing, but it is more than a personality type, I would say. It's utilized very differently, I think, than if you took a typical personality quiz. But at any rate, there are 9 personality types. I am number 3, the performer. And these are the characteristics. Now, you don't have every characteristic of the number that you are. And the way that you know your number is by what motivates you. So for 3s, we are known as performers. It is important to come across as a winner. We want to make a good first impression. Keys to our happiness are efficiency, productivity, and being acknowledged as the best. I don't like people to slow me down. I have a tendency to airbrush failure to look like success. And once again, this isn't just me. It's a lot of 3s throughout the world. I would rather lead than follow. Competitive to a fault. I'm a multitasker. I watch how people respond to me. I have a hard time naming and accessing my feelings. Sometimes I feel like a phony. I love to set and accomplish measurable goals. And I don't mind cutting corners to get stuff done. 3s and 1s have a lot in common. 1 would be a perfectionist, whereas a 1 could never cut corners because things need to be perfect. A 3 can cut corners to get things done. What I like about this book is he talks about healthy, average, and unhealthy numbers. And as a healthy 3, I like to set goals. I rise to challenges and solve problems. When I am operating as an average 3, I am confident in my abilities, but also image conscious. When 3s are unhealthy, they find failure unacceptable. I can highly identify with that. Hard to admit mistakes, which causes them to act superior to others. And there certainly have been times in my life where I have been in that unhealthy state, and absolutely, I can agree with that. So the deadly sin of the 3 is deceit, and it is that we deceive ourselves. Our true self gets lost in our performance, trying to please others and be what others want us to be. As children, 3s grow up believing that the world values people for what they do rather than who they are. However, 3s are optimistic and resilient people who have audacious dreams, who inspire others, who are generous and wise. And I think that's awesome. I do feel like I am resilient. And I do feel like I am generous. I don't know about wise. Of all the numbers, 3s have the most difficulty recognizing and connecting to their feelings. And they are in the dark about others' feelings. Yes, that probably could be true. Threes do feelings rather than have feelings. And I thought that was very interesting when he said that. Threes look at others and kind of copy how others are feeling. You know, they express their feelings like other people express their feelings. Threes mask and postpone feelings so they don't blow their I have it all together cover. And for sure, I recall many times in my life where it was very important for me to look like I have it all together. Now I just look like I'm barely hanging on. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Threes conform to families' or culture's preferred image, even if it means having to become someone who bears no resemblance to who they truly are, or do things that go against their nature. And I think that is that's a very sad place to live for sure. For a 3, the deepest calling is to grow into our own authentic selfhood, whether or not it conforms to some image of who we ought to be. So in relationships, 3s can be spiritually unaware. They want to project the image of the perfect family to the outside world. Trust me, my one son, he makes it very difficult to do that. And you know what? That's awesome. In relationships, we can be on autopilot. We can view relationships as an item on a task list. 3s can have so many projects running and goals to achieve, they can't give undivided attention to people they love. So that is really something that has to be paid attention to. Because 3s alter appearance to win over different types of people, they keep circles of friends separate. You know, absolutely, this is something I used to do. I used to be very uncomfortable if my circles of friends crossed. And I always thought that was weird, but I didn't know why I felt like that. I don't think that I tend to feel that anymore. Well, I don't have that many circle of friends anymore, so. Prize friendships that are free and undemanding. I have to say, I definitely have to really think about being a good friend. I'm sorry, it just does not come naturally to me. People can often experience 3s as superficial and emotionally shallow and difficult to connect with because of 3s' ability to postpone or set aside feelings. 3s are pragmatic and do whatever it takes to get the job done. Absolutely. Often run over people on the way to the goal line. Absolutely. 3s are enthusiastic and confident. And our talk style is promotion. I initially disagreed with that when I first read it, but I'm not so sure I disagree with that anymore, as far as for me. So the other thing that I like in this book is he talks about your number and then how you operate under stress and then under insecurity. So in stress, 3s move to the unhealthy side of a 9. So under stress, 3s can tend to be couch potatoes. You know, think of Netflix binging, or just getting busy with busy work. That couch potato and Netflix binging thing, ding, 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 right on. Under stress, we can feel worn out, lose optimism and confidence, lose interest in working out and eating, ding, ding, ding. Or eating healthy. I don't lose interest in eating, that's for freaking sure. And we can lack motivation, feel stressed out, lose interest in appearance. Insecurity, 3s do become warmer and more in touch with feelings, become less competitive and defensive, and have more energy for friends and family. So that's the lowdown on the 3, which is what I am. Now let's talk about 8, which is what Chris is. Now, you're not really supposed to type other people. I had pegged him as a 1 or an 8. My sister helped me with this, but it's funny, when I was reading through the book with Chris and giving him the characteristics of 1s and characteristics of 8, man, he just he was laughing at how dead on he is an 8. So these are the characteristics of an average 8 or a typical 8. They are blunt and aggressive. They don't do things halfway. Nope, they do not. They enjoy verbal skirmishes just to see what others are made of. Yes, they do. I thought that I liked arguing for the sake of arguing. No, I do not hold a candle to Chris in this arena. 8 insist on honesty in relationships. They have a hard time trusting people, can sniff out others' weaknesses. They do not have a hard time saying no. Nope, they don't. They don't mind opposition. They are wary of people being super nice. They don't respect people who don't stand up for themselves, but they do have a very tender heart under the tough exterior, and that is 100% dead on. So average 8s, they are dualistic thinkers. People are good or bad. Opinions are right or wrong, or really their opinion is right and that's it. I'm sorry, I just added that. The future is bright or bleak. They use aggression to emotionally protect themselves. Unhealthy 8s think they are going to be betrayed, so they are slow to trust. Their deadly sin is they lust after intensity. Their defining feature is overabundance of intense energy. They ooze confidence. Their dominant emotion is anger. This makes me laugh. 8s think they have facts while others have opinions. Yep. Their talk style is commanding, and they use lots of imperatives. Yes, they do. 8s do not want to be controlled. In relationship, 8s want the truth. They want you to challenge them back. They do have a hard time apologizing. They want to help and support others, but you have to show up and give 150%. And that, I agree with that. But you know what? I am kind of like that too. I will help you. Absolutely, I will help you. But I want to see you putting in the work. But Chris really wants to see you putting in the work. I love this. 8s are looking for the answer to, can I trust me with you? They are highly intuitive. Hi. Hello, Gusser. Highly intuitive, and they can smell deception a mile away. Absolutely. Chris can do that. In stress, 8s are more withdrawn and less connected to their emotions. I feel like maybe I'm missing the secure part of an 8. And honestly, I can't remember what it is right now. But they just move to, you know, not being quite so aggressive in their dealing with others and not quite so blunt. So anyway, it actually has been, you know, when Chris and I will get into a verbal skirmish, you know, there are times that I'm thinking, this is just because he's an 8. He thinks he's right. Clearly he's not. You know, this is just who he is. Or just for me, you know, when if I'm feeling kind of down and knowing, you know what, you're just sitting here vegging because you're feeling stressed, choose something healthy to go and do. You know, don't just sit here and veg. If you're gonna do nothing, at least pick what the nothing is that you're going to do. So this has certainly been quite eye-opening for me, especially the second time around that I've read it. It just really has helped me identify things that I can work on and some other things that I just know that's just who I am. And it's normal because that's just who I am. And there are other people like me. There are lots of 3s in the world. There are lots of 8s in the world. There's, you know, lots of every number in the world. So none of us are alone. So anyway, I will pop back on once I've read some of the other numbers, but I may chat about some of the other numbers that I find interesting. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.